remember they're changing my voice. This video is vital when it comes to understanding the recent shootings and all the mass shootings, Louisville, Orlando, Highland Park, Uvalde, etc. It's vital in regards to understanding gang stalking. By the time that I'm done with this video, going over, say, maybe 19 verses of scripture and some quick points about why there's not romantic justice in society and how it connects to martial arts, conceptions of the universal pinpointed moral precision, the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order, versus white supremacy and Eastern martial arts and all the other conceptions of how it should be. By the time I'm done with this, you should have no doubt in your mind that I'm right and that women were insane for shunning me and throwing good guys under the bus, historically, etc. Okay, and you should have a better understanding of what good is. Good, first and foremost, is obeying God through the Royal African Falcon, heterosexual, monotheistic, transcendent hero order. Okay, you'll understand more about what that order is shortly. Pay close attention and keep the commands of God in your heart. Don't forsake the truth. Don't forsake God. Don't forsake the righteous. Proverbs 12:1. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid. So whoever hates the true correction from God. You might not like me, especially if you're an idiot. You probably don't like me, right? But when I convey the truth, it comes from God. Before I was born, this truth existed. So it's stupid to ignore it. Again, whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid. The wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands the foolish one tears her down. Remember, the hands of God striking down the enemies of God. Jesus saying, I'll be at the right hand of the mighty one, the right hand of the power, the right hand of God. So the hand, first and foremost, refers to martial arts, right? David and Goliath, right? The Lord's going to deliver the Philistines, the Jebusites, the Amorites into our hands, right? The hands of God. Whoever fears the Lord walks uprightly, but those who despise him are devious in their ways. If you hate God, it's in your actions. Forget your words and going to church. If you despise God, you're devious in your ways. You're cheating the righteous out of their right to lead. And that's worse than cheating the only person who knows how to fly a plane out of his right to be the pilot. Cheating me out of my right to lead. Okay. A fool's mouth lashes out with pride, but the lips of the wise protect them. So a fool's mouth is lashing out with pride. People don't have to say anything to insult me because them cheating me out of my right to lead out of their pride in their race, their religion, their country, their system, their mere church, a mosque, synagogues, which exist because they live by mere human rules, customs, and traditions, and they don't live the words of God. They don't live the truth. They don't live the reality. They don't live the morals and the precepts of the Bible. The mocker seeks wisdom and finds none, but knowledge comes easily to the discerning. So all these people in church, it's like a mock ritual. They're just mocking God by saying things that have to do with morality and love and so on and so forth, but they're not living them. So they're not finding wisdom. They're not finding the knowledge of God. They find none. But when you're truly discerning enough to be in the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order and not be some kind of racist who cheats me out of my right to lead, okay, to not obey me is worse than a skinhead calling Martin Luther King names when Martin Luther King was alive. It's worse than a Klan member calling him names and saying I hate you and so on and so forth, and not helping Martin Luther King do what he was trying to do. Okay, because I am the pinpointed pinnacle of moral precision among people. If God set me apart, God communicated by his actions and making me the top martial artist ever possible. If you have any questions about putting in the comments, okay. He made it clear that he wanted you to rally and obey God through me. The sun gives light to the plants, right? Air so you can breathe. The top martial arts ever possible, right? Mind, body, soul, spirit, to lead you to the promised land, to lead you to God. Okay, so to cheat me out of my right to lead is to be devious in your ways and to despise God. Going back to verse 2, whoever fears the Lord walks uprightly, means thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not cheat the righteous, so on and so forth, especially not cheat the righteous. But those who despise God, those who despise him, are devious in their ways. Whoever fears the Lord walks uprightly, but those who despise him are devious in their ways. Okay. Stay away from a fool, for you will not find knowledge on his lips. It says also in Proverbs, right? A companion of fools suffers harm. Stay away from a fool, for you will not find knowledge on his lips. A companion of fools, especially a girlfriend, right? Talk about a company, a corporation, a company. The company you keep, okay, causes you harm. So who should you date and who should you not date? And should you put your mere emotions you're not exactly me. You're not the top martial artist. I am. You're some kind of lemming compared to me, some kind of scatterbrain, some kind of simpleton. Okay? And so your emotions are the emotions of the brain function of a simpleton who's in rebellion against God. Can you honestly and fairly think you're doing God justice by following those emotions and your pitiful excuse for logic instead of coming into the divine order and listening to the moral precision that I'm saying and living that moral precision? There's no other way to look at it. I've thought about this many days. I've presented this argument to many people. They have no viable counter-argument. They've conceded in a million different ways. Okay. But they haven't conceded in terms of obeying God through me. Not a single person has. But they know that I'm right. They've conceded they're evil by not conceding my point by actions. Okay. The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways, but the folly of fools is deception. The folly of fools is deception, to say, hey, let's just play stupid. Let's just pretend that this guy's not the top martial artist ever. That's deception. Let's pretend that the idea of Christ in the Bible, isn't superimposed on this guy. That's just deception. Okay, you know them by their fruit. You know my actions, my deeds, my argument. My argument is universal pinpoint and moral precision, focus, moral intensity. If I'm not sent by God, how come everything I'm saying has sound moral logic, including me arguing that I'm the top martial artist ever possible due to tech breeding and ill-gotten gains ruling out people in the future and the degree of prowess that I've achieved in my top martial arts challenge? Okay? So the folly of fools is deception. The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways. But the folly of fools is deception. What is your way? Is your way cheating me out of my right to lead? That's not the way to heaven. That's deception. You're a fool. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. I'm crowned with knowledge of God as the top martial artist ever possible. The King of Kings, right there it says in Proverbs. In Proverbs 1, it says Proverbs is a book to understand the other books in the Bible. So the simple inherit folly. Right? That is, spiritually speaking, that is, when you have a kid, two idiots have a kid and they have a folly-ass life, the kid either follows in their footsteps or they have a folly response to their folly, the folly of their parents. Two people living folly, living a foolish life and path and way. They come across each other, get married, reproduce, and they have a stupid kid who is going to do something similar. Either they become a rock and roll person responding to a white supremacist on a scale. He's going to be on a spectrum, right? Say they're not exactly in the Klan, but they have white supremacist tendencies and they're cheating me out of my right to lead for white supremacist behaviors, sentiments, emotions, and philosophies. Okay? So their kid responds by being a rock and roll white supremacist that dates another white kid for a white reason, responding as a devil to a devil system and culture. Okay? So they're inheriting the folly, whether they follow the exact footsteps or whether they respond as a more obvious Satanist in some ways and a less obvious Satanist in another. For example, Donald Trump versus a satanic liberal heavy metal star. Okay, both of them are obviously satanic and evil. But in some ways, Donald Trump is less satanic and evil. Less obviously satanic and evil. And in some ways, he's more obviously satanic and evil than that liberal heavy metal star. Okay, so we're running out of time, so let's just shoot through this. Proverbs 15:2. The tongue of the wise adorns knowledge, but the mouth of a fool gushes folly. The soothing tongue is a tree of life, but a perverse tongue crushes the spirit. So you don't want to crush the spirit, right? Heartache crushes the spirit. A perverse tongue crushes the spirit. Those whose actions are perverted, perverse, erotic desires, psychology, instead of reality and true love. A fool spurns a parent's discipline, but whoever heeds correction shows prudence. Prudence is diligence, scrambling to do what's right. Okay? A fool spurns a parent's discipline. Okay, they're refusing the discipline of coming into the martial art order and being disciplined. That's why it says it's the parent's correction, instruction, the parent's discipline. Right, it's a martial art principle. Okay, the military, for example, are disciplined in being evil and working for the state. Same with the police. American martial artists are disciplined in being evil American martial artists. In every other country in the world, there's some kind of national or globalist martial arts. But a true martial artist of God knows by the actions, by the fruits, by the points of reference that the true martial order is derived from Africa. Okay, they didn't become the people. Black people aren't in the best shape because they played basketball for thousands of years. They're in the best shape because they had the most effective martial arts systems and warrior systems for thousands of years. That's simple. Okay, so the discipline in its potent form is going to come to you from Africa. Okay, if you're looking for the best berry, you go to berries. You're looking for the best, flowers, you go to flowers. If you're looking for the top martial arts ever possible, you're looking for someone from an black African patriarchal line. If you don't know that, you're an idiot. Moving on. A fool spurns a parent's discipline, but whoever heeds correction shows prudence. The lips of the wise spread knowledge, but the hearts of fools are not upright. Stern discipline awaits anyone who leaves the path. The one who hates correction will die, spiritually. A happy heart makes the face cheerful, but heartache crushes the spirit. You see how these things connect to it. This is also in Proverbs chapter 15. I went over 14 and 2. I went over Proverbs 12, one verse of it, some verses from Proverbs 14. This is in Proverbs 15. You see how it flows together. It's the reason why it's in the same chapter. It's the reason why they're using the same types of words, right? Perverse tongue crushes the spirit. Heartache crushes the spirit. And they're talking about discipline and as it pertains to love, the love for man, the love in a romantic relationship, the love for God, what have you. The discerning heart seeks knowledge, but the mouth of a fool feeds on folly. Okay, seeking knowledge of God, not of knitting or science per se, but of God. The mouth of a fool feeds on folly. Folly brings joy to one who has no sense, but whoever has understanding keeps a straight course. Okay, walking the straight and narrow. Whoever heeds life-giving correction will be at home among the wise. Before that, again, in Proverbs 12:28, it said, in the way of righteousness there is life, along those paths is immortality. Okay, along the path of righteousness is immortality. That's the path of the wise person. I'm almost out of time, so let me shoot this here. Okay. Whoever heeds life-giving correction will be at home among the wise. Whoever heeds life-giving correction will be at home among the wise. Those who disregard discipline despise themselves, but the one who heeds correction gains understanding. Okay, like the military, the gang stalkers, they're disregarding the discipline from God and my commands to them that are God's commands to rally and obey God through me, not to themselves, because I am above them. I am above them. Okay, wisdom's instruction is to fear the Lord, and humility becomes before honor. Okay, and they're using bitch-ass shit to kind of make it harder for me to articulate myself. If you noticed my words, I'm starting to slip on my words now because they're fuming me. I'm almost out of time, so let's shoot this again. The one who's from, okay, it says in the Bible, the one who is from above is above all. John the Baptist is saying about Jesus. He says the one who is from above is above all. If you need me to quote the scripture, put in the comments. 2, the white man deals in illusion. Shaka, you have taught us to live in reality. In the movie Shaka Zulu, he says, quote unquote, even if the whites, remember this is a quote, had 1,000 lives each, those lives wouldn't be worth a single dedicated Zulu warrior. There's some typos here, but it's supposed to say warrior, because we are superior. Is that guy wrong? If somebody's like, I'm a theater art guy, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, and they're not a martial artist, right? Martial and Marital, David versus Goliath, not two theater actors having a theater act comparison, okay? Not a dance-off, but David versus Goliath, okay? So he says we are dedicated to a cause that makes us warriors, not necessarily divine warriors is what he's saying, but in his case, he believes that his religious system is divine, and Zulu means people of heaven and so on and so forth, okay? He says, because we are superior. As the story goes, Hitler argued that the black achievements in the Olympics did not count, as he said they were subhuman. He compared racing them to racing a cheetah. And this is important here. He was saying that these guys have a certain natural prowess that goes beyond other human beings, that sets them apart. Okay? Ironically, it's called the Lion of Judah. He compared them to a cheetah, which is similar to a leopard and similar to a lion. And the leopard is the lion on a medieval standard in Europe quite commonly. Okay? Therefore, he was saying that that's like taking on, among them are people who are like Christ himself. Okay? And one of them actually is Christ, and that's me. Okay? And he said it's not fair because they're mere humans who don't have those qualities. So he used the word subhuman, but when you make the appropriate adjustments with logical universal science, that's what you get. In systems where proficiency in sparring determines rank, martial arts rank is important to determine who's superior. Also consider more proficient, authentic karate expert in a war spirit that is pronounced, okay? How do you take them on? You have to come into some kind of spirit to take them on. It's not enough to know mere skills alone. When somebody's like in a spirit sparring and they're in like their zone, they're flowing and so on and so forth, you need a spirit of your own. So the spirit and spirit are connected. Her and hurt are connected. Charm and harm. Her, hurt, love struck, beat up the pussy, swept her off her feet, being engaged, right? Beat up, to beat up, take her out, to sleep with someone versus waking up, striking and trisking, okay, sexual healing, and there's all kinds of penetration, there's to hit it,
right? There's Marshall is marital scrambled. The bridegroom, right?